And I'm surprised that when people don't link that together, they don't see how we are self-destructive. When we talk about other black organizations, other black people, and we are attributing to that stigma. When it doesn't matter if the experience is real or not.
Right.
It's many negative experiences. I could go around talking bad about my dad all day. I could go around saying all these things, but I still became the person that I'm going to become regardless of what he did. And it's like, I don't have to bash him and so I'm just, that's how I see it.
Part of your story, and that part of your story ended, and you're able to go forward and then reunite, and it's going to be a positive outcome.
Right. And the same thing with black businesses. We can have a bad experience. You don't know, they maybe have, there are so many excuses, and we don't want to say we're giving them, no, they may not have the cash, they may not have the staff, they may not have the knowledge, resources. Are you reaching out to help them? Are you giving extra tips? Are you doing anything to invest into that black business because they already have limited? If you're limited, and nobody's reaching out to give to you or support you, you are going to fail. You're destined to fail. You're set up to fail.
Show. Today I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Cathay Dawkins. Now let me tell you, Cathay Dawkins is a visionary. He's a pioneer, a trailblazer. He actually has this whole philosophy of leaving no African American business behind. He's the founder of Black Business Owners of Charlotte. Here today with me, Mr. Cathay Dawkins. Hi.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Finally, I get to meet the great Cathay.
Thank you. No,
I've heard so much about you, literally, a whole lot. And everyone speaks so highly of you and what you're attempting to do in the Charlotte community. And I wanted everyone that's here to learn more about what inspired you to start the Black Business Owners of Charlotte.
Yes.
BBOC, we're going to call it for the rest of the show, because I'm not going to keep saying Black Business Owners of Charlotte. That's a tongue twister.
Well, we had to shorten it down a little bit. So I would say my losses and not having a net when I did lose as a business owner is the reason why I started Black Business Owners Charlotte. And I wanted to have as a black business owner, I feel like there are limited resources, and for the resources that are available, everyone is not knowledgeable about those resources, and there's no one that's actually reaching down and saying, I'm going to help you. You have to strive and do it on your own. And so when you lose, or when you fail, or when you do not reach the bar, it could be devastating to a business owner. So I want to have a safety net, and a safety net for other black business owners. So and I see it as a trampoline as well. Okay. So because if you fall, we're gonna make sure you bounce up and catapult to your next level. That's how we see it.
So you started this organization in 2014.
Yes.
And so you said that basically from your experiences as a business owner, as a black business owner, you weren't able to get kind of like the help that you really wanted to see happen for black business owners. So you created that help.
Yes, I created that help. I went to different organizations to seek the help, but I wasn't at the level that they were seeking at the time. And so I was like, what do I do in the meantime until I met that tax bracket, until my business has the right, customer base? What do I do? And of course I went to libraries, I did my own research, but there was not a lot of aid available. So I definitely saw that and I started BBOC after the recession in 2008. The recession really impacted my business. I have a landscaping business called Dawkins Landscaping. And
Dawkins Landscaping. Okay.
Yes. And so with Dawkins Landscaping, it was my dream job. It was what I wanted, what I went to school for. And when the recession happened, I had clients on high-level clients that were unable to pay me. And so I went from a bank account, and at the time I saw it as major money. I had over $30,000 in my bank account. And I was like, I'm really doing well. Like, you know, and of course that's not as near as amount of money for a business that a business can have.
I think a lot of people would consider you doing well.
Yeah, for me it was very successful. And I lost it all. I went from the next week, I remember actually putting my bank statement on my wall and just looking at it like, you know what, this is just the beginning of what I'm about to make. And the next week it went to negative because everyone owed me. And I still had to pay the banks. I still had to pay. So I wanted to have it where if there's another recession, and that recession could happen, or if that we know what to do in those situations. I went through and I learned what to do, and I learned, how to get out of that and not be in debt for the rest of my life.
Okay.
But I wanted no one else to go through what I went through.
So you had $30,000 in the bank. Then within a month, basically, it was less than a month. It was negative because you had clients that owed you.
Yes.
But you still had to pay the bank.
Yes, I still had to pay the bank.
And you know what? That's so typical of so many different business owners, not just African American, but business owners in general, that they have this debt that has to be covered, but they don't have the resources to go to say, can I get like a bridge loan situation? Can I get something that just holds me temporarily until I can get what's coming due to me from my clients?
Right.
So you've been working with people to teach them how to do that?
Yes. So and with that, getting that loan, you have to be equipped to get the loan. So you have to have your credit in order. You have to have your business credit in order. And so with our monthly members meetings, we implement business development workshops. So it's like a twofer for business owners. And so when they come to the meeting, we'll have a tax person there. We could have someone that's helping them with business credit. We could have someone that's helping them with different things that when it comes to business. So not only that they have that safety net, that they are able to go to the next level, get the loans that they need to expand their business. There are a lot of business owners that do not scale. They're just on a week by week, month by month, customer by customer basis. And we're teaching them to think 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Okay. What are the steps that you need to take to elevate your business? How do you take this cash in hand and turn that into actual profit later?
Okay, so it's like a pro forma, a 5-year pro forma?
Yes.
Or is it like forecasting or
forecasting? So just teaching them forecasting. We are developing consultations where we can sit down and do a customized, but in general, it's teaching them to forecast their business, scale their business, to take and invest 10 to 25% back into your business. Excellent. And not just spend the money that's on hand, because you may have $10,000 coming in a month, but if you're spending $10,000, and yes, you may be buying things for the business, but if you're not really investing that and having a contingency or something that in case something happens, if you're not ready for that, anything can happen. Your building could burn down, your machines could shut down, your customer could get sick, or something could happen where you are not ready, you're not ready for, and if you don't have a contingency or something to fall back on, it could be devastating to your business.
Well, already, just in this short period of time that we've been speaking, you've shared so much information and knowledge with my audience and the community that's watching, and I know that people would be very interested in learning how they can be a part of BBOC. How do people become a member?
Yeah, so you can go to bboclt.com, and again, that's bboclt.com, and on the website you'll see different, there are different layers and entities to BBOC. We have our membership level, and then we have a publication called The Black Connector, and so that's informing the public digitally and by print. And we also have a marketplace on Facebook. It's called Facebook Marketplace. It has over
15,000. I saw that. I was like, oh.
And what's exciting about the marketplace is it's all local. It's 85% local, and the remaining 15% is still within relatively 25 to 50 miles of Charlotte. Most of them are very centralized to Charlotte, and so if you're not in the group, you may know someone that's in the group. And that group is really helping us. Oh, and members get to advertise for free in that group. So we have 15 admin in the group, and they control who advertise. The reason we only allow members to actually advertise is because all of our members are verified. We know that their business is legitimate. No one's going to be scammed. And as a Black business owner, because there is there is a lot of stigma associated with Black business owners.
Right.
We wanted to do everything well, and that consumers and business owners can know that they can come here and this is a trusted platform.
So now if I join and promote the Kim Jacobs Show,
yes,
all of these 15,000 members will be exposed to knowing that they have an outlet to come on the Kim Jacobs Show, share their stories, but primarily their backstory, because I want people in the community to know where they came from,
right,
to become who they are today. So that's something you'll accept my membership?
Yes, all day.
Oh, for real?
We would love to have you as like a honorary member, like amazing. You
I'm
are
joining
amazing
today, just so y'all know.
Yes.
I am joining the Black Business Owners of Charlotte today.
Like this.
Okay. Does it cost me?
No, I got you.
Oh, you got me?
Yeah,
What?
I got you.
Cassandra. All of y'all out here, I know I done leaned over to start talking to the operations manager, everybody. We getting ready to get this thing blown up. Okay, so anyway, I'm a Black business owner, clearly, and I'm excited about everything that you're sharing here today. But I do want the audience to definitely get to know who Cathay. I mean, you're Cathay, the BBOC guy, and you started this wonderful outlet for people, 15,000 members, and people in the community rant and rave about you. They love being a part of BBOC. So I've only heard great things. But then I also want people to know who Cathay is outside of the struggles that you've had business-wise. So tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I grew up, I had two, people often tell stories of like a single mom. I didn't have, my mom, I grew up with a 2-person household. But when I was 11, my parents divorced. And so that was because I grew up in a 2-person household and mother, father, I was used to that. And so when my parents divorced, it really was shocking to me, and it really was a blow to, we went from economically sound to pretty much just poor. And but my mom was she's very strong, and
how old
I was 11 at the time
when they divorced.
Okay. Yeah. And so that was very my father, I credit my father, even though he wasn't the best husband, I credit my father a lot for showing me, with allowing me and my mom to allow me to do different things. I wasn't a kid that did one thing. I did football, I was president of my school, I did a whole bunch of different things.
So they just exposed you to many opportunities.
Right.
And they built you up in that area, both of them, regardless of what they were dealing with as a husband and a wife. They both came together and supported you.
Yes.
Okay.
And but again, he wasn't the best husband. He was violent, and I seen all those things. He was very violent to my mom. So I knew a divorce was going to happen.
It was going to happen.
I just didn't think it was going to happen I thought it was going to happen after we got older, because my mom would basically say, she's going to wait until we got older. But it just got really bad. And I remember when it got at its worst is when I came home and we had these steps. When you come in the house, we had a wraparound porch, and then we had these steps that go up into the kitchen. And when I came in the house and ran on the porch and ran in the house, my mom was sitting on the step, and she had blood like gushing down. And Mama had a real long hair, and it was like all in her hair. And I was done at that point. And I literally ran. I knew my dad had guns everywhere, so I ran and got one of his guns. That he did have it up, but I went and got it. And I was seconds away. I heard someone coming on the porch, and I was seconds away from shooting my dad. And so when the person ran in the house, and my mom got the strength to lift the gun up, basically say stop, and it was my uncle. So like I thought my dad was coming back to get my mom again, and it could have ruined my whole life.
Your whole life, because you could have killed your uncle,
and
thinking that it was your dad, and
so
just the fact that you have access to these guns at 11 years old, and now thinking that you're going to protect mom, which then of course would have damaged everything for the outcome of your life. And you know what? It's interesting that so far, every guest that I've had on my show, some piece of their story relates to a part of my life too. And so I never really tell my own story on the Kim Jacobs Show, which would be pretty interesting because then people can see all of the ties to every one of my guests. But one of the things that you said I can relate to, because my brother and I, we planned to get rid of a person that my mom had been involved with for many years, and he was a heavy person that had a lot of artillery, and we knew where it was and how to use it and how to put it together, and we had planned to expose of him because we felt that enough was enough, and my mom was having some difficulties that we didn't want to see her experience. And so when I look back over my childhood as well, I think how different things could have been had we followed through with what we discussed behind closed doors. We had our own like secret meetings and our plan and what time we were going to do it and how it was going to work. And we never went through with it. And I'm so grateful.
Thank God.
I'm so grateful to God that I didn't, and I'm so grateful to God that you didn't. Because here we are today to be able to impact the lives of so many other people, you know? So you go on and you obviously put the gun down.
Yeah, I put the gun down, and it was safe. I just knew what the key was. I was a child that was like, Mom, you need to pay your bill tomorrow, and like I was like very observant and very. So I knew my dad, and my dad gave me a lot of access. He taught me how to drive when I was 7. So like I was a grown kid, like annoying grown kid. So I knew how to get access to everything, and my mom was very protective. So she didn't know that I knew. She didn't know that I would do that, but she did know that I would defend her because I did it every time in the middle of the night, I could hear her wailing and screaming. But it just, I think that it gave me that heart of protector that I know people are going through. They may not look like, my mom was very pretty and she was very beautiful, and you would never expect that. People saw us as like a very nice family that had everything together, but it wasn't reality. So now
we're fast forwarding. Where is your mom today?
Yeah, so now my mom remarried. So she remarried 2 years later. So she met my stepdad. My stepdad.
So she was hot to try.
Oh yeah, she
like, boy, please, boy, bye.
Yeah, she went from like being abused to now they're two peas in a pod and never leave each other. So it's a dream story. They got married on Valentine's Day. So like
congratulations, Mom.
Yeah, so she that's awesome. You don't even see one without the other. Like I one day I was at my now late grandma's, but and my dad came home, which is my stepdad, and I was like, "Where is my mom?" Because they're always together.
So you knew something was
like
wrong.
It's only one time in my whole life that since he's been in my life that I've seen them apart.
And so this was at the age of 13. He became your stepdad and literally took on the family as if he was the father. Never again to question whether he was stepdad or regular dad.
Right, and it was shaky at first. Like at first I was like, no, my dad is my dad, and it took a couple of years. But at 16 he bought me my first car. So I was
that was it. It was your daddy, right?
It was daddy, but then over the years he's definitely shown up, and I actually have not even only seen my dad once since then.
And
my dad is in Savannah, and about 4 years ago, he almost died in a car accident.
So wait, now since you were 11 years old?
I have not seen my dad. My dad was super close to me. Like, he was my role model.
And what do you attribute that to? Why?
It was because of embarrassment, I don't want to make excuses for him because I don't feel like I would never do that. But, and then I didn't allow him to see me. It's almost like for a long time I was punishing him. He even moved to Charlotte at one time, and he kept saying, I moved here to see you, and I never went to see him. Because I wanted him to know how impactful that was, that he separated himself. And then after he almost passed away, and I saw him like with all the tubes and stuff on him, I realized I was like, I gotta forgive him because for me, and I did, and I have, and I am gonna go see him, and I am gonna I do speak to him now, and it's forgiven, but at the same time, I attribute not having that safety net to, because I was seeing other people, they could just call their parents, so they just call, and I was like, both of my parents now are disabled, so I can't just call my mom and call my stepdad and say, give me whatever amount of money, please. And I'm like, my dad was one of those people that I should have been able to, because he was a pretty much wealthy person. but he destroyed his own life, and so. But I forgave him.
Okay. So now, you know what? This is definitely. Let me say this, because for all of you that are watching the Kim Jacobs Show, I'm not trying to turn into Dr. Phil or anything like that, or Ayana, but I will take this opportunity to just say that since you know that your mom went on and she is super happy with your dad, your real dad that became your dad at the age of 13, who you never looked back as anybody needing even another father figure, because he stepped in and did what he needed to do, and we're very grateful for that. But then, like you say, you've forgiven your biological father, and I'm grateful to hear that as well. But now your biological father is still alive, and he knows that he, I'm sure, regrets all of the time that's passed by over these years since you were 11 years old. How old are you now?
37.
Okay. So
that's a long time.
That's a long time. So on the Kim Jacobs Show, which is an exclusive interview with Cathay Dawkins, I'm asking you, would you please consider developing a relationship with your father?
Oh, absolutely. And I've already, I was supposed to go about 2 months ago. I was supposed to come down to see him, and it just didn't happen. But it's no longer even, I don't even get emotional, or like, it's more now, it's like I know I need to.
You know you need to. So, but the point is that knowing that you need to, and being the founder of BBOC, knowing how to make things happen, you're not a guy that can just put something there, plan it, and it never happens, it never comes to pass. When you say you want something to happen, it happens, right? When you say this is the date that this is going to kick off, that this black venture is going to take place, it happens, right?
Right.
So now Cathay Dawkins is saying that this is the date that's going to be on the calendar for me to reunite with my dad. Are you willing to make that happen?
Yes. Okay. And I know it has to for me to go. It helps me get to close that book on that.
And what time frame? Like, let's give it a little block of time.
I would say within the next 30 days, because it's been
within the next 30 days. Look at the camera. Within
the next 30 days.
Okay.
I will go visit my dad and make sure he realizes that it's forgiven, and I will go along as if, not as if, it's really truly, it's not something that I dwell on anymore. It's not something that I feel holds me back. So I want to allow him to forgive himself.
That's right.
By me just going and forgiving him.
So you're going to forgive him. He's already going to forgive himself once he knows that you're forgiving him.
Right.
And then ultimately you all will be able to spend some of the latter years of his life being able to be father and son in some regard.
Because he's getting up in age. He's almost like 70 something.
And who knows, you guys might come back to the Kim Jacobs Show and bring your dad right back, and a story of healing and forgiveness. Is that possible too?
It's possible.
You never know, it can happen, right?
On my end, I definitely think that would be great, and if he's open to that, I would definitely.
There might be a follow-up show to this show, guys, okay? Because we want healing and forgiveness. But going back to the fact that you went through all of that in your childhood, then you went through a lot dealing with the distance between you and your dad, knowing that he was alive, and you still kind of just going on in life. You really picked your own self up from your bootstraps type of thing and made something happen with the BBOC. So now you really do have this compassion for people because you want to see people succeed, right?
Right.
And the reason is because part of your childhood is when you didn't feel like you were succeeding in that relationship, you then had a person to fall back on, which is your new dad. I'm just linking the
right. No, it is exactly that is it.
I'm kind of summarizing here. I don't know if I'm right.
No, that is absolutely it.
So this is interesting. And again, I never know a person's full story prior to sitting in this chair. So this is not scripted. This is me learning right on the spot what Cathay is saying about his family. So I didn't have time to pre-prepare, and now it even gives me a more profound appreciation for the warrior that you are, for the person that you are to start BBOC, and anybody that's out there knowing that this man is wanting to empower all of you all as African American business owners. That's a part of what he desires to have happen, and he's built for this thing. It is part of who he is. So okay, so you got 15,000 members, and in the Facebook marketplace community, a lot of people that are not in your community, because I try to ask questions that I think my audience would be, am I representing you guys, right? Okay, so people want to know, what if they have just started from scratch with their business and they don't have this great score yet or this great business score? are they still qualified for BBOC, and
Yes.
how can you advise somebody in that situation?
Yeah, so we have several levels. We have startup, which you would fall in if you just starting out, you have a vision, an idea, but you don't really know what you want to do. You could be a member as a startup member.
Okay.
And then we have general, and then we have premier. And so on our website, on bboclt.com, you can see how you can see the different benefits of being a, if you want to, which level you want to be.
Okay.
But for anyone that's starting out, startup would be great. It's free for the first 30 days. And during that time, we do a questionnaire to see where you are in your business. And then we see how we internally, and we send out to the member, the new business owner, we see how we can actually help them and meet them where they are.
So do you actually, with BBOC, do you officially fund the projects that they are interested in them yourself, or do you connect them to a resource that funds it?
Well, right now we connect to resources, but ultimately our vision, and I just put the right people in place to get these things happening, but we want to also be a lender. We also want to be a giver, and so we have a foundation. We have BBOC Foundation of Economics that just started, and the whole goal behind the foundation is to invest back into communities that are have low economic mobility. I don't know if a lot of people don't know that Charlotte is the lowest in economic mobility in the nation.
Yeah.
And so 95% of those that are born into poverty or poor are going to remain poor.
Okay.
And so only 5% of them make it out. And so we want to change that. And so in order to change that, you have to put money in the hands of people who do not have it. And that's what people don't do.
Okay.
And I noticed that a lot of business owners, they don't have the revenue, they don't have resources. And then there's a stigma that I mentioned earlier with a negative stigma on a black business. And when I say negative stigma, I mean when a person goes into a black business and they have a bad experience, they normally like, I don't want to support black businesses. They put it on Facebook, and they
that is horrible. They do
everybody
that's
in
true.
that category. But if you go to Walmart, Target, or somewhere else and you have a bad experience, you blame that chain. You
That's
don't blame
interesting.
everybody.
Well, I don't know about sometimes with Walmart. I will say they have this. People taking pictures and say this only happens at Walmart. So I'm like, there's so many pictures that.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
but I agree. No, I do.
So
agree.
yeah, exactly. So it's like you really Walmart is like. You blame Walmart. You don't bring every white
that
chain.
particular location, if it's Target, if it's Walmart, whatever. Any incidents with restaurant chains and so forth, not just obviously Walmart or Target, because I shop at both, I love Target, and I shop at Walmart as well. But I definitely, and hey, especially if you're gonna be sponsoring anything to do with the Kim Jacobs show, I totally love you guys. So yeah, but definitely people officially only hone in on their incident at that particular location. But with black businesses, it's so blanketed. Yeah. Oh, see, I knew this was going to happen, and all black businesses act like this, and blah, and that's very unfortunate that that is the stigma. How do you help people overcome that stigma?
So talking about it, and like every time I get interviewed, I talk about it, and I'm surprised that when people don't link that together, they don't see how we are self-destructive. When we talk about other black organizations, other black people, and we are attributing to that stigma. When it doesn't matter if the experience is real or not. Right. It's many negative experiences. I could go around talking bad about my dad all day. I could go around saying all these things, but I still became the person that I'm going to become regardless of what he did. And it's like I don't have to bash him. And so I'm just that's how I see
part of your story, and that part of your story ended, and you're able to go forward and then reunite, and it's going to be a positive outcome.
Right. And the same thing with black businesses. We can have a bad experience. You don't know they maybe have. There are so many excuses, and we don't want to say we're giving them. No, they may not have the cash. They may not have the staff. They may not have the knowledge, resources. Are you reaching out to help them? Are you giving extra tips? Are you doing anything to invest into that black business because they already have limited? If you're limited, and nobody's reaching out to give to you or support you, you are going to fail. You're destined to fail. You're set up to fail. And so, and I don't want to say destined because that can be changed, but it's your setup for failure. Right. And so it's like, if there's nobody giving to you, there's nobody helping you, and then everybody's bad talking what could be, you're on a path of destruction, and there needs to be an organization and people out there that don't only want to pick from the top, that they're willing to go down and get.
And that's what BBOC does. And how long from start to finish? Like, I'm trying to visualize, because I'm trying to represent people that are sitting here looking as well. How long from start to finish does it take for a funding situation to happen? Because I actually know a few people that have come to BBOC and they've had tremendous success in a very short period of time, and they speak very highly of you and the way that you served as a liaison to make their project come to fruition quickly, and it was really a short turnaround. So how quickly would you say on average is that situation?
And it depends on what your business is. And so what we created events and programs to provide the consumer, to put the consumers in front of the business owners, because there are resources out there, and there are organizations that you can connect with to provide you those resources, but there are not a lot of opportunity that you can get in hand cash that day. And so what we do is we create events like Black Food Truck Fridays, Charlotte Black Restaurant Week, and we have other events that are not food oriented, but food brings people together. So it was good to start
with always brings people together.
So we have and I can go ahead and talk about it because it is, the back work is getting done. We're gonna do a Black Expo, and we have a lot of different things that we're doing so that all business owners and Black business owners can be in front of their customers and consumers and a target audience, and actually leave with either a great lead, a direct lead, or leave with some actual cash in hand. Thank you. And so I saw that that was one of the questions that it rolled through my mind constantly, is how can we create these avenues? We can equip you and we can armor you up, but how are we really going to feed your family? That's how
a very important question.
And so we create those avenues, and thankfully every event that we've done has just been, from day one, it's a success. And so I would encourage those that do want to help the community to see what the need is, and then do something, because I don't want to be the only person doing these. I want to see other people doing events. Don't copy mine because it's trademark. But do other things to invest back into the community, because there are not a lot of people that are interested in investing in Black business owners.
So you're always looking for other investors as well, community investors, and how would they go about joining forces with you?
Yeah, so you can reach out to us. You can reach out to me directly, founder at bboclt.com. Or you can reach out to our corporate relations director, and that's corporate relations at bboclt.com. And if you go to our website, there are different, it depends on, what you're interested in and how you're interested in investing in BBOC, but that is one of the things. We've been self-sustained for a long time. The events is how we were sustained. No one came
and they're heavily attended.
Yeah.
So on average, like, how many attendees
average
do you
about
have?
7,500 to
I was like, this is crazy. It's like over 10,000 people. This is not some just small venue. This is a big deal what BBOC is doing. So I mean, they have about 10,000 attendees at these different food events, and all African American business owners that are exposing you to a wide variety of foods. It's incredible, and every person that's ever experienced it, there's no violence. I haven't heard anything.
No.
I mean, every time
we have security. And that's actually that was intentional how we did that. From the beginning, I did not want to be in bad graces with CMPD, with the sheriff department, with fire station, with Charlotte Health Department.
Right. So
we made partnerships with everybody.
That's
good.
And
I leveraged, and people were telling me different things, but I went with what I thought was best. And I serve as a public art commissioner, and so I didn't know the value of that serving and being a volunteer on the public art commission. And by serving on the public art commission, I was able to get in front of every department, every chief of the fire station, and this is why 1% of 1% of public funds, every time we build a hospital or build a school or build a fire station, 1% goes to the public art commission. We have an ordinance that it guarantees that, and that's millions of dollars actually a year that goes back into the community. So those entities, those police chiefs, the schools, the hospitals, the libraries, different people that are getting these art in their different areas, they come before us, the mayor and different people come before us and basically tell us what they think that art should look like.
Wow.
And we make sure it has a community feel to that. But I get to meet them directly, and I didn't see the value of that until about 3 or 4 years. I've been serving on that for 7 years. And so I encourage people to go and join one of these boards. And so now, like, even with the new park, Romeo Bearden, I was able to meet Richard Hunt. I'm an artist, actually. I'm a landscape architect, but I'm also an artist. And
what kind of artist are you?
I teach art, so I can do anything. More abstract, but I because I'm an architect as well, I like all type of art. So, and I taught for 8 years. Okay. So, and I taught while BBOC was growing.
He has on red.
Yeah, I love shoes. Like, shoes is my favorite. You know, some people like watches, some people like bags, some people like, I like hats too. But shoes,
that's it for you.
But I'm not gonna go broke buying shoes. I know how to, I know how to buy the right thing. So I would never buy, but I love shoes. And sometimes you gotta.
But you're a budget conscious person.
Very budget conscious.
I am too.
Yeah, and shoes is just, I learned I want to do things that I like and I enjoy. So shoes is one of the things that I really love having. You can have a plain outfit. If your shoes is good, you're
good to go, right? Well, I'm telling you, first of all, you've just like, I don't know how to, you made my heart glad coming on the show. Thank because you. It inspires me as an African-American woman and business owner to know that there are resources available and organizations like BBOC that's genuinely interested in helping all African-American businesses, all Black businesses, not based on whether you are already a top tier business, but even if you're a startup business, you can't beat the situation. What you're sharing with me today and with the audience is probably going to be life-changing for many business owners that don't even know about BBOC. So I'm excited, and the referral that came where you were here today is, you want to talk a little bit about her? And so Katrina Womack actually referred you to our program, and Keita Rogers and their team, and I know they started a food truck business, and within I know every bit of 30 days they had their food truck up, running, the architectural design, and it's a beautiful truck. It's called Street Gourmet. What role did you play in any of that?
Yeah, so like when they were at the final stages of, I would say, of the food trucks, I didn't notice at the time. I actually didn't notice until we did an interview with WSOC TV. But I remember I was at an event uptown, and Katrina, actually called me when I was and she was like, you have an event in 2 days. Can we be a part of that event? And I was like, what's the name of your thing? Do you have the the things that you need? And she was like, yeah, we have those things. I was like, well, yeah, you can be there. She was like, what? I can join you in 2 days? I was like, yeah. Like, if you can join us. And so she joined us, and she did well. And I would say contributed to BBOC, but also Katrina. Katrina quickly was like, I want to be a premium member. She saw the value in what we were doing. She had a successful event, and so she instantly became a premium member. And she was adamant about, how can I be more involved with BBOC? And so every event we had from there, so that was August, November of last year, between that time. Okay. But I would say August of last year to now, she's joined every single event. She's been so involved, and I've seen her base just get bigger. So when people come in, they're looking for her. She's very pleased
with how her business has flourished under the direction of BBOC and the involvement that you all have had with her business and the team that they have in place. And predominantly all African American employees, and she's very pleased with the relationship. So if you're a business owner, you're just starting up, because I know I'm using a case study where there was a young lady that just started her business and has been wildly successful to the point where her profit margin is, she's excited about everything BBOC.
She's about to open a storefront.
Yeah, she's getting ready to open a storefront right now.
Yeah, and we're helping her with that process, with business, with everything that she needs to make sure that's a successful venture. And so that's how we help. And to see it, and to see how she's now branded in the community. She, you know, and the people come and say, I'm looking for a street gourmet. That value and that brand value, that's something that you can't really pay for. It comes through you being committed and loyal. And she was committed and loyal, and BBOC is committed and loyal to her, and that's how it worked. It wasn't a one-sided thing. It was a two-sided thing.
Now, do you have to have a business plan? Because that's another question that just came to mind with some of the people that are here have asked me that in the past.
Yeah, you don't have to have to start a business. A business plan is for you to have to know what your business is about, and for you to get investors. There are many business owners that don't have a business plan. There are many businesses that have been out for years, many years, and they never had a business plan. So I'm not going to say that you don't, it's not legally, you don't have to have a business plan. If you want to be wise about doing your business, yes, you need a business plan, and you need, because that business plan is going to help you prepare for your business to scale.
But it's not required for people to be involved with BBOC.
No, it's not required, but we do highly suggest, and we'll help you develop it.
Good.
We actually, there are many business owners that come to us and they don't have a business plan, and we help them develop a business plan. But we don't, you know, talk about it, you know, in a public setting, and it's something that they can come to. We have classes periodically during the year to help you, and you may have a basic business plan. It doesn't take much to do a business plan,
right? But
you may need a more in-depth and more involved business plan, and we help people. We help our members and business owners garner a more in-depth business plan.
And then the other question that often comes to mind too is, do you have to be a personal guarantor if you are the business owner and they come to you to learn more about how their business can be funded? Do they still have to personally guarantee it?
So, as far
as good questions, right? Yes, I'm representing y'all.
As far as funding, we do referrals. And so we do not guarantee. We're not a guarantor like on a loan, but that is something we're going to. We're working on to be certified on the SBA to issue loans to business owners.
Okay.
How we help business owners is putting them in front of clients, putting them in
These
front
are
of consumers.
Like angel investors type of thing.
Yeah. So we have different
philanthropists or banks.
So philanthropists, banks. We have partnerships with different people, and we put the business owners in front of them.
I love it.
They're in the setting, and it's up to them to seal the deal.
Okay.
So that's how it is. It's
so once you get, I'm sorry I cut you off. Go ahead. I'm so excited. I'm like, go.
And so it's like putting you. It's opening a door because a lot of doors aren't going to open for you, and it's opening a door for them. And then it's up to you to walk in and be prepared with the right things to have. But we're helping you be prepared. But you got to handle it from there. Once we put that in your hand, it's up to you how you work it from there.
Whatever that company's or that particular referral source's requirements are, that's the requirements you need to meet as the client that's going in on behalf of being referred by BBOC.
Exactly. Okay. We get calls from over. We get calls from Knights Foundation. We get calls from NASCAR Hall of Fame. We get calls from all over to say we need 10 food trucks to do this. We need 3 nonprofits to do this. We need. You know, it's just vast, and it's more and more and more as we do more things in the community. Those opportunities just come more and more, and so who gets those at the top? We start premium members. Premium members they pay a little bit more. None of the amounts are a lot. It starts from 60 to like 120 for the level. So it's not that's like amazing. A lot, and that's a year.
So wait, so say that again.
Startup general. Startup, it starts free, and then it's $5 a month, so it's $55 a year. And then general is $60 a year, and then premier is $120 a year.
You cannot beat that for the type of resource that BBOC of Charlotte is offering to African American business owners. The amounts that he just shared, when you go on the website, and the website's going to be listed below, which is bboclt.com. bboclt.com. You should definitely go ahead and join BBOC as quickly as you can so that you can start reaping the benefits of what Cathay has shared with us here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Is there anything you want people to know that I may not have asked you that question directly, but you know it would be good for the general community to know before we would end the show today?
I definitely would say do research on BBOC, but also whenever you talk about money, I don't care if it's $1 to $1,000. I want people to know that it isn't about the money side of it, but for 3 years of BBOC, I funded BBOC myself. I funded it by working teaching, doing my landscaping business. So I was working like 70 hours a week to fund it. There were all of our members until last year were free. We didn't have a payment level. And that's because I did not want, in my board, so we have an executive team of 12 people. We have an advisory board, and they advise me on different things. The advisory exec team on different things. The exec team advised me on different things. And they were pushing me to do a paid membership, and I refused until last year because I felt like after Charlotte Black Restaurant Week, after all of the things that we've done, we can give back. We can really, our membership levels are really something that people can say, I benefit from this. And then once you're a member of the marketplace, you can get the money back in a week if you are good at marketing. And if you're not good at marketing, we can teach you how to market. And we're doing different consultations with businesses depending on where they are and what additional beyond membership, how can we assist you further. And so we can teach you how to use the marketplace for your advantage.
So this is more like a turnkey kind of situation where it's like ready to go business ownership if they are part of BBOC.
Yeah.
So this is just, I mean, I think that I've provided, personally, not to pat myself on the back, I think I've provided such great value to the community today to let you all be exposed to the Black business owners of Charlotte's founder, Mr. Cathay Dawkins. He is just, you're a gem, a jewel. And I don't know, I don't know how many people are in Charlotte all know about you. I know at least 15,000 of them do. But I am just very excited about the fact that you're so willing to open up your heart and your resources and your connections to empower another brother or sister. And I don't say that lightly. I say that because I feel that this community of African Americans, we usually say we're brothers and sisters, whether it be brothers and sisters in Christ or brothers and sisters because of our, complexion or whatever the case may be. I'm really honored that you came on the show today and shared this as a resource for those that may not know about you or know about BBOC. So,
and I want to say thank you to you, Ms. Jacobs, because I've never talked about my story and I've never connected that together. And so I am a visionary and I do think about things a lot, but just tying it all together and you providing that platform for me and for BBOC, it's refreshing and it's going to help me close a chapter and open a new chapter. So I appreciate you.
Oh, I'm really glad. Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to having you back with your dad, hopefully soon. Okay?
No, that's going to happen. I believe it.
And I look forward to you learning more about BBOC if you're an African American business owner and would like to learn more about how you can take your business to the next level no matter where you are right now. Don't be discouraged. You should be totally encouraged after watching this show and go to bboclt.com to learn more about Mr. Cathay Dawkins and about the different levels of membership with BBOC. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Kim Jacobs Show today. And please make sure you like the show, subscribe, turn on your notifications, tell all of your friends that we're out here providing shows as frequently as we can to make sure that you know about the backstories of all of these wonderful people's lives. Thank you for tuning in to the Kim Jacobs Show today and have a great day.